I'm Mike Braga. I'm a Senior Vice President with BDO Canada Ltd and a licensed insolvency trustee. And so my job is to sit down with people who are experiencing financial difficulty and talk about financial solutions for them. So we already know that going into this crisis that the majority of Canadians, 1 in 3, we're already living paycheck to paycheck. And so with the news hitting that many people are encountering layoffs, or they're expected to stay home and take vacation, there's going to be a lot of reductions of income. So already people that were being stressed are going to be pushed to the brink right now. And if we don't put a plan in place, an effective plan in place to manage the next 3 months, essentially, we're going to see a lot of people having to dip into credit, to their credit cards and lines of credit and other forms of credit in order to make ends meet. And we know when we do that, it comes with the high price of interest. So what we need to keep in mind that when you go through a crisis situation, there's the four aspects. You need to assess your situation. And so right now people need to stop what they're doing, take a look at their spending for the last 2 or 3 months, figure out what money they had coming in, what money went out, and start, so that they have a very good bearing as to where they're at. The second step is they need to create a plan. So this is where the bare bones budget comes into play. So you need to figure out what your bare needs are: your rent, your hydro, your groceries, your car payment, your gas. So all of the bare necessities, no extras. So you need to figure out how much of that's going to cost, and that's going to be your budget for the next couple of months. Then you need to put that in place. So that means that any extra dollars need to be put into savings or into an emergency account so you can draw it on a later point. And then it's really important with the fourth step is to review. So you need to keep going back to that and make sure that you are sticking to the bare bones budget that you've set. In setting your bare bone budget, you need to also figure out what kind of stimulus and what kind of benefits are out there for you to take advantage of. So the government has suggested, and mortgage companies are out there saying that there's going to be some reprieves, and they'll allow people that are struggling to defer a payment or two. If that's the case, great. Make those calls now. Do not wait until April 1st because the lines are going to be bogged down. If you know you're going to be stretched, start making those calls now. Contact your credit card companies and see if you can defer some payments as well, and see what dollars are going to be available. So again, you can take that into consideration, because again, it's really important. If you don't have a plan, you're going to be spending uncontrollably, especially when you start seeing the hype that's out there. So in the last couple of weeks, the whole run on toilet paper has been quite interesting. I mean, for many people, they're stockpiling, and right now they have a year's worth of toilet paper in their home. But keep in mind that additional expense, now that they're laid off or they're not working and they don't have the income, that could have gone to next week's groceries. And so what we're saying is, you don't necessarily want to stockpile, you need to buy what you need. So if they can wait, they should do nothing. And so, because what will happen is if people start withdrawing investments or taking dollars out of RSPs to offset, some income reduction at this point, what they're going to be doing is their paper losses, they're going to be making them actual losses, and it's going to be a double-edged hit because they're going to lose the money because their stocks have plummeted. So they're going to lose money that way. But then also what they're doing is they're bringing in income. So next year at around this time when they file their tax returns, there's going to be the tax consequence that they're going to be hit with as well. So what we're recommending to people is, if at all possible, keep them in your investments. Now, having said that, we know that a lot of people are stressed right now. And a lot of people are facing that layoff, and there's going to be a couple of weeks without pay, even with the stimulus and the reductions to timeframes for EI applications. So if people need to dip into it, I think what I'm suggesting to people is that they need to have a plan. So they need to know how much they're going to need and only take out the bare minimum that they absolutely need to take out for the next couple of months to get them through. If they absolutely have to, they're going to need to do that. But again, I'm encouraging people that we want to try to work within the income we have coming in wherever possible, because those loans right now, while the interest is low, it's not going to stay forever low. And so people are carrying debt on average for 10 to 15 years before they retire a product. And when they actually wind up paying it back, they're paying almost 2 to 3 times. And so we want to make sure that we're not doing that. We're looking within the income we have coming into the household. Again, keep in mind the community resources that we have available. Food bank is still open and active for individuals, and a lot of the churches are still having their community supplier community closets where they're providing a lot of resources and food resources that way for individuals. So it's important that you avail yourselves of that. And for those that are a little bit more fortunate, we need to, that Canadian spirit needs to come out, and we need to make sure that we are still continuing to contribute to food banks and make donations that way as well. With respect to basic budgets and whatnot, BDO Debt Help has a lot of great resources. They can go there. Mosaic Counseling here in town as well has a great credit counseling program. And the FCAC, the Financial Council of Canada, also has a lot of great resources on their websites for budgeting, and especially during crisis times, how to figure out that bare bones budget. Right now, we realize that people are afraid, and there's a lot of panic going on, but it's really important that we do those things that we can do and take control of those aspects of our lives that we can. So that means that we need to assess our finances at this point, put together a great plan, and start making sure that we're going through those actions in order to make sure we make it through the next couple months.